coffee is an important thing in our daily life. So what better to give to your family than a homemade dessert? So Cheesekut is a very simple yet very decadent dessert that you can make yourself, which will not take a long time to make, and will make your life easier by just mixing up random stuff without even the need to bake. Okay, before that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To Sir Shams, thank you for inviting me, Chef Amirrul, today to Cheesekut. And today we'll be there is a guest that will be joining us today, which is Chef Alif Ramsey. So Chef, what are we going to make today?
So today we make a simple dessert we call as Cheesekut.
Do you know what is a Cheesekut?
No.
Have you ever tasted Cheesekut before?
No.
Do you want to taste Cheesekut?
Yes.
Then you need to learn to make it yourself. Okay, so without further ado, Chef Ramsey, give me please.
Okay, so let's go.
I'm sorry. Our program, our demonstration will be focusing on 3 phases: preparing the ingredient, assembling the dessert, and applying the ganache. Wow! Okay.
So without wasting more time, let's move on to the first part, which is preparing the ingredient. So what's the ingredient that we need to make the Cheesekut? First, what we need is a small carton, or approximately 200 milliliter or 200 grams of full cream milk. And nowadays we have a various type of meat in the market. We have low-fat milk, we have flavor meat, fresh meat, and full cream milk. For this recipe, we highly recommend all of you to only use full cream milk, as it will give a rich, luxurious, and creamy flavor to the Cheesekut.
If I'm not mistaken, if we use other than full cream milk, the taste will be a bit bland.
Yes, yes. But yes, that's true. But instead, if you as a person that very take care of your healthy, it's good for you to use fresh milk instead of full cream milk. Then the taste will be a little bit bland. Okay, the second ingredient that we make is, what is it? What is it? Cream cracker, yeah. So the quantity of the cream cracker that you will use for your Cheesekut is depending on the quantity of the serving and the size of your container. Okay, so why we use cream cracker? Because we want to balance the sourness from the cream cheese and the sweetness from the condensed milk. Condensed milk.
So next thing would be 250 gram packet of cream cheese. Okay, this cream cheese will be used because it's soft and it provides the texture that we want. And next is sweetened condensed milk. Okay, sweetened condensed milk is used to balance the sourness that comes from the cream cheese, and therefore provides you a pang of sweetness that melts away as an aftertaste. Okay. So, firstly, and then next, a little bit of Nestum with some Oreo crumbs as a ganache. Right.
So let's start to making the Cheesekut. Are you excited right now?
Yeah!
Okay. First step is wash your hand first. And then Bismillah. Bismillah. And then you can cut off the edge of this milk carton, and you pour at approximately about 80% of the milk. You please make sure that you remain 1/5 of the milk for the butter later. And second step is you take a bowl, a slightly bigger bowl, and you cut open this cream cheese, and you push all this cream cheese, a quantity of 250 grams of cream cheese, into the slightly bigger bowl.
You squeeze it out. What do? You squeeze it out. Then you pour in some condensed milk, and you keep beating it and mixing the mixture until it forms a very smooth texture. And then what do you add? Some?
Milk. Okay, we add some milk. Okay, just we pour it slowly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay. Then we mix it together. See, you see this? Until it forms a smooth and creamy paste. You don't want to mix it too long, Because if you mix it too long, you see, when I pull it out, it will be a very silky texture. However, if you beat it for too long and mix it for too long, if it forms a soft peak, what is a soft peak? When you pull it out and it becomes a curvy end. If it reaches a curvy end, you will not get the taste that you want because now it's full of air bubbles. So it's going to be very frothy or not very creamy as what you want. Okay, moving on to the second phase of our demonstration, which is assembling the dessert.
Okay. First of all, what you need is you must have a container, a medium-sized container. You can use from alloy container to the plastic Tupperware as long as it's not too big or too small and it was clean. Okay, first you take this cream cracker and you dump into this. Dump into.
Okay, what's
this
the word?
cream milk. Okay, you must make sure all the part is covered with the full creamer and absorb the creamiest and the milky full cream. And the next step is you arrange it on the bottom of the container.
Okay, and then when you arrange, there is a warning that you need to pay attention to. Okay, what you need to do is, you don't need to be very detailed to fill up every edges, but you want to after cutting the dessert, every bite gets a piece of that crunchy biscuit. Because if you don't fill up till the edges, you'll just get the cream, and with no biscuits, that's going to be a problem, isn't it?
Yes!
Okay, see, this is an example of how it should be filled. See, it's not very precise, but at least it's covered. Next, what you do is, you take okay, you take a dollop. What's a dollop? A dollop is like a spoonful, and you place in random places. Okay, the spoonful depends on the size of your container. Okay, after you do this, you smoothen it so it covers all the parts that has been all the parts with the biscuit. Okay, are you with me so far?
Yes!
Are you excited to make one at home?
Yes!
Or you just want to eat without making it?
Yes!
Okay, so for this demonstration, we'll be only doing one layer because there's not going to be enough time. Okay, after this one layer, what you should do is to sprinkle some nestums. Sprinkle a bit of nestums, so a little bit of crunchiness, because that biscuit will be damp in the fridge. Okay, so a little bit of nestum. Okay, voila. Okay. Okay, and then you should do more layers so that it will become thicker. And yeah. Okay, next phase is applying the ganache. Ramsey, what is ganache?
Actually, a ganache is additional ingredient that we use to beautify the cake. As a person, ganache is like a makeup for a person. It makes the dessert more attractive, more appealing, and make we more watering. We watch at the dessert. We look at the dessert.
And for this dessert, you'll be choosing what form of ganache?
Oreo!
So ganache is very simple. You take some and sprinkle. A ganache does not need you to be so luxurious, but as long as it provides you a beautiful look and a more appealing aftertaste, and it's fine. Because through Oreo crumbs, what you get is a chocolatey aftertaste, because it's basically a cream cheese based foundation dessert, so you need to give a little bit of pang of difference in sweetness. Okay, for example, yesterday Ramsey came into my room and we did some stuffs in our room, which is halal. And we made a cheesekut with a ganache of chocolate rice and mustard. Okay. So after completing, what do?
Then we put it in the fridge, and we must freeze it at least for 3 hours to make sure it's completely fresh. And after that, you can enjoy your cheesekut.
So in our demonstration today, you've learned 3 things. 1. Preparing the ingredients. Assembling the dessert. And applying the ganache.
That's it from us.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.